cast your votes for this year's new principal. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it is actually government election day. Before we get into today's importance and what happens, let's go over today's show. Here at GJ, our mission is to be prompt, polite, and prepared, and our vision is that every student graduates with the skills necessary to be successful in a college or career. I'm Alyssa, and ENN starts now. Starting at 6 a.m. this morning through 8 p.m. tonight, anyone who's registered to vote can go and cast their ballot at any local voting center. Speaking of things going on today, there's an FBLA meeting in room 4224 at 2:05. This is their last meeting before the district competition, so make sure to attend. Now let's go check out our local elections.
Last year, there were a total of 453,411 registered voters within Polk County, and up to October of 2023, there have been 427,353 registered.
But when you talk about voting, you can't forget how important local races are. And by local races, I mean your state races, your state legislature, I mean your county races, and even your city races. 90% of the decisions that are made about your education, and specifically your school, and the classes that you're offered, and what your teachers are getting paid, and so much more, are being decided by that state legislature and your local school board.
Florida has become one of the most evenly divided and most competitive states politically, due to growing diversity and majority of the population coming from outside of the states. Within Polk County, Democratic voters make up around 31% of voters, Republicans around 40%, and the third-party voters making up the remaining 29%.
So many things get distorted that politics, even the word politics, can be a real turnoff for a lot of people. Politics and government are two different things, right?
In November of 2022, people aged 18 through 24 make up 7% of Florida's voters.
Ideally, when a Polk County resident goes to vote, they'll show up at their precinct, they'll be warmly welcomed, they'll get excellent customer service, they won't have to wait long, they'll get a ballot, they'll make their choices, and they'll be on their way. So much of what happens in your day-to-day life is controlled or certainly decided by local elected officials, and you really have the opportunity to impact them if you do vote in every election.
You can register to vote in many ways, such as through your Register to Vote Florida.gov website, as well as through your local DMV through your Supervisor of Elections, and more.
When one goes to cast their vote, they are letting the government know what they think is going to be best for their local government. Let's take a short commercial break while I go take a look at all of our candidates. Voting is a way to let your government know what you think will be beneficial for your community or town. Some other things that are beneficial is that the ACT is running a special through Friday, December 9th on any test registration. Check it out on ACT.org. Now let's go to Chandler, who's telling us about local voting boundaries.
Most people want to have their voice heard, okay? They want to know that what they think is best matters. And I like to think, maybe not, but I like to think that many, many people want to do what they can to shape the world, to make it better, to make it be what they think it should be. And voting is one of many ways to do that. Voting in itself is not anything magical, but it is one of many things you can do if you believe that you want to put a little effort into making your community and your world a better place. So much of what happens in your day-to-day life is controlled or certainly decided by local elected officials, and you really have the opportunity to impact them if you do vote in every election. But I do want to say you need to take a little time. It takes a little effort because you want to be sure to educate yourself first.
It's been a week since spooky season, Eagles, which means it's November. Don't walk, run to your local voting precinct. Vote today.
Stepping into the real world and making big decisions may seem scary, but imagine a ballot like an open-answered quiz. It can't hurt you, but it can only help you. Check out your local voting centers to see if you're registered to vote. Now it's time for me to go cast my ballot. I'm Melissa, signing off of Annan.